Right, hey guys, this is Brad from Salt Lake. I'm going to look at a couple of issues on this bike here. Not really issues, but I need to check the valve state. Just been getting a pattern to see on valve wear, just over time with this bike, and it has shims under buckets, so they're a little harder to change like out in the field. So if this bike goes in the tat, I just kind of want to see where my valve is going to be, and actually make a change to the to my valve clearance if needed before the tat. Also, I'm going to change a jet on this carburetor. Now, this carb isn't the same as what you have, Mike, on your newer model KLR 650, but I believe Ben's KTM probably has an FCR carb as well. So I'm just going to change the jet in the bottom, then show you what the top looks like if you need to make a needle change or a clip change on the needle. So I'll go ahead and real quick get the tank and side covers off here and show you what this carb looks like. I always keep a combination wrench. Now, sometimes getting like the top of the valve cover off, you can't use these, so I had to make some additional, but I didn't start the bike due to I want to also check the valves. So I turned off my fuel, and I'm just going to use my drain on my carburetor to get rid of the fuel. Just catch it here in my little pan here in the bottom. That way I just don't spoil it, because once you heat up your motor, oops, strapping away, you can't check your valve. So this is just getting rid of the fuel, also in the bowl of the carburetor, because I need to pull that off to change the jet. This is the flat CR carb, or they call it the FCR carb. Common on a lot of high-end dirt bikes. Good adjustable carburetor, good mains. I actually have a good collection of main jets. I just removed this on this bike. I got to remove this voltage regulator from the side here, and that gives me some access to spin it. And this carb, actually, I pull it part way out to turn it. I have an oil catch based on the back side here, which prevents my carb just from turning. So I just loosened up this clamp here, the front of the carburetor, and this one back here. Pull it back. And I can rotate it just enough here. You can see I got access to these caps. On this carburetor here, I have a little access port here on the bottom. We actually don't need to pull the fuel bowl to gain access to that, because if I did need to get the fuel bowl off, I have to pull my pilot screw out, which then would have to turn all the way. This O-ring sealed, so you don't really need to wrench it on too much. I'm not going to pack a wrench big enough on the tat, so I'm going to bring these pliers, and I can access that with my pliers. Use a 1/4 inch socket. These don't get seated very hard. There's the main jet. And it's a 145. I'm actually moving up to a 150. Remember, these are brass. We don't want to kill it. Just gotta snug it up. This one's O-ring sealed too, so it doesn't have to kill it to put it on. I recommend an aftermarket fuel screw like this one here, because it's infinitely more adjustable by hand, and also you can see exactly what you're doing. So I'm just gonna, not something I'll carry on the tat, but good thing to have just around the house. Just some silicone lubricant here. I'm just gonna spray it on the boot of the carburetor, just make it easier to install. Top of the card comes off just by a couple Allen screws. This gives access to the top of the slide, which is where they have the needle jet put in there. Now, a needle we won't really have to change on the road. This is just showing you in case you want to do a jet kit prior to leaving and do a new needle. Some needles for bikes, like a JD needle kit or a Dynajet, gives the bike a little bit more dynamic curve, or they say maybe it's better in stock. Sucker's on there good. This covers up and keeps the needle down. With 3 hands, so you got to hold the throttle up to hold that up. Here is the needle valve, and it shows that this one you count from the top, but this one there's the top clip is number 1. So this one's in the 1, 2, the 3rd clip. Then it actually has the clip. Now this keeper is spring loaded, so I'm not going to put it back on. Super tight. It was cranked on there initially. Triple check everywhere in the carburetor where it seals on these rubber boots on all sides, and also where it goes in the air box. This is very important. Any leak here, you'll suck in just regular air, and that dirt will get in your piston, score your piston wall, cylinder wall, and cause all kinds of grief. So you got to verify all these connections and then reposition the carb. Voltage bolted back on, and then we'll take a look at the head and measuring valve clearances on a cold motor.